Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another episode of Sea Salt Snippets. Today for you guys we've got some spicy topics to talk about, so let's just dive straight into it. So within the recent interview between Game Informer and Tetsuya Nomura, Tetsuya Nomura actually made a very interesting comment towards a certain mechanic that might actually be subject to change within Kingdom Hearts 3. Now the keyword here is subject to change. This is actually something that I've been bringing up within my videos recently, and it's a very interesting keyword. As you guys should probably know, throughout the development process, certain things are generally subject to change, which means during that point in time, maybe the developers will have a certain idea, whereas 2 years later, that certain idea might actually be put into place, but slightly altered, or all around, that idea might be completely deleted and scrapped. And especially when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, there's a ton of removed content within all of the Kingdom Hearts games, and this is the exact situation of things that are subject to change. So let's jump into the news and information. This is what Tetsuya Nomura said to Game Informer. He said, first and foremost, each Keyblade will have its own form that it can transform into, and it's different per Keyblade. There are at least 2 different forms it can take. For example, in Toy Story, you saw the giant hammer and then the drill. Another one was at the beginning of the trailer where you saw Sora shoot arrows and then it turned into a bazooka. So there are 2 different forms. It also has multiple layers in terms of transforming. You start out with your first phase of transformation, and if you successfully connect your combos, the next transformation will happen. We're still trying to finalize the specifications, but that being said, it is subject to change, so it might evolve into something even more impressive. So obviously Tetsuya Nomura is making a comment towards Keyblade Transformations within Kingdom Hearts 3. This has been a certain discussion topic that we've been talking about a lot as of recently, due to Tetsuya Nomura's kind of confusing explanation on the mechanic itself. Now, giving the general rundown of exactly how Keyblade Transformations actually work, I think this explanation right here is probably the best I've come across in amongst all of the explanations that we've recently got over these different interviews in the past month. And what he's saying here is most Keyblades will of course have transformations, and that these Keyblades will have 2 different phases of transforming, giving the example of the arrow guns that we see Sora using with the star-looking Keyblade. And then of course, once you've completed certain specifications while, destroying certain enemies, eventually it will prompt you to then transform into the second phase, that being the bazooka. But he mentioned right here that they're still trying to finalize the specifications, and that apparently, in terms of the specifications, the way you actually utilize these transformations might actually evolve into something more impressive. And you would kind of think, as of right now, because of the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 is due to release in 2018, most of the different stuff that they're showing within these recent trailers are actually final product thing. Now, although Kingdom Hearts 3 is still most likely about a year away, you would think that they're probably getting into the process of finalizing a lot of the gameplay mechanics, as of course that's one of the more important aspects of the game itself. But what he's saying right here is the way in which Keyblade Transformations might work might actually evolve into something even more impressive. So it doesn't exactly sound like the whole mechanic itself will get turned into something else, but more so the way it works might appear a little bit differently in the final product compared to what we're actually seeing in the trailers as of recently. I thought this was really interesting, just bringing this up to you guys. If of course we do find out that in the next trailer, the way that the Keyblade Transformations do work looks a little bit different compared to what we're seeing recently, it is due to this exact comment right here. Keyblade Transformations might be subject to change, but only slightly from what he's saying. The next thing that I thought I'd bring to you guys' attention is not necessarily a piece of news, but a piece of pretty crazy symbolism, and I thought I'd bring this to your guys' attention because I find it very interesting. Obviously, looking towards the number 13 within Kingdom Hearts, this seems to be a reoccurring number that consistently pops up throughout the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series, and it would most certainly seem that Tetsuya Nomura has a certain thing for the number 13. Most of you guys are probably aware of this, but just to give you guys an example, let's roll through it. Obviously, Organization 13, that's a very obvious one. There are 13 letters within Hollow Bastion, Radiant Garden, Light, Darkness, as well as End of the World. Within the opening cinematic for Kingdom Hearts 1, we see the letter M flying towards the camera, what's really interesting about this is the letter M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. There are 13 system sectors within Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Within Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, there are 13 floors within Castle Oblivion, as well as 13 floors to its basement area. So those are only a few examples. There's a lot of other things throughout the series that refer to the number 13. And the reason why I'm actually bringing this up is, if Kingdom Hearts 3 is scheduled to release in 2018, and which it obviously is, that would mean that it's been exactly 13 years since the release of Kingdom Hearts 2. And of course, this is looking towards the Japanese version of Kingdom Hearts 2. As you should probably know, the Japanese version of Kingdom Hearts 2 released back in 2005. Now, I'm not trying to come up with some sort of crazy conspiracy theory where Tetsuya Nomura actually planned from the beginning of the development process of Kingdom Hearts 2, alright guys, we're gonna release Kingdom Hearts 3 13 years after number 2. People are gonna fucking hate us for it, but that's the way we do things here at 13 Enix. But you have to admit, this is a pretty damn crazy coincidence, seeing as there's just so much symbolism surrounding the number 13 within the Kingdom Hearts series. Oh my god, but now thinking about it, is this actually some sort of possible theory that Nomura planned from the very beginning? I thought this was a really interesting discussion point. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And last up for today, a few days ago, I ended up going on the Crunchy Duck podcast to be involved in an interview where essentially the members of the Crunchy Duck podcast actually interviewed me for a good hour and 20 minutes. So within this, we talk all things to do with the current nerdy stuff we're involved in, the video games that we're currently playing. I also talk about my adventure on YouTube. So if you guys are interested in that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link to that interview in the description below. I know the guys over at the Crunchy Duck podcast would super appreciate this. And once again, if you guys are interested in kind of hearing a little bit of an interview from me, then that is the place to go. Also, the really cool thing is one of the guys that are involved in this podcast is one of the news writers for KH13. He's known as Terminator. He's one of my good friends. So it would mean a lot to both me and the guys over on the podcast for you guys to go check it out. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description down below. But anyway, guys, that is all for today's news and information. Hope you guys are having an absolutely juicy, beautiful, and spicy day. In the comment section down below, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions towards today's news and information. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.